Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video I will be talking about the Cowboys were likely releasing wide receiver Amari Cooper, and if the Washington Commanders should try to make a run for him, and if we do try to make a run for him, how much will it take to sign him? So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for Washington and NFL content. I'm about 25 subscribers away from 7,000, so please help me get there. Also, hit that like button and turn on those notifications so you never miss a video, and follow my Twitter. Link is in the description. Now, let's get right into the video. Okay, so let's go over the whole Amari Cooper situation first. Will he get released? Will he get traded? So I'll read this right here from Adam Schefter. He reported this yesterday, and he said the Cowboys are likely to release wide receiver Amari Cooper by the start of the new league year per league sources. Cooper is due $20 million in fully guaranteed money on the 5th day of the new league year on March 20th. And then let me go to the other tweet where he said if the Cowboys cut Amari Cooper, he would count $6 million against the salary cap, not $22 million for a team that is projected to be more than $21 million over the cap. A trade with Amari Cooper's contract is, in the words of one source, not likely. So it looks like the Cowboys will be releasing Pro Bowl receiver Amari Cooper. And I mean, they're not going to be getting anything. They're not going to be trading him, because once this kind of news comes out, it's hard to, trade a guy. And I guess no team really wants to give up, that much with his contract. So I guess they'll just wait for, him to hit the free agent market, which who knows? Will they, do him a solid and release him before free agency, or will they wait until the new league year and then, release him? Because they really have until March 20th. They have until March 20th before that $20 million is fully guaranteed. So March 15th, I believe, is the first day of the new league year. And March 14th is really when the free agency starts. I mean, technically, it starts on the 16th. But, these deals usually get agreed upon on the 14th. So we're very, very close to that. But this is a, interesting move by the Cowboys, because Amari Cooper is one of the better receivers in the NFL. And, they paid him a lot. They paid him $20 million a year a few years ago, or a couple years ago, when we actually offered him more to come here, but he declined that, wanted to stay with the Cowboys, which was fine. But now they're moving on from him, and it's, really interesting because he's still a really good player. And, they have some weird contracts on the books, like Zeke getting paid $15 million a year. That's just why you don't pay a running back unless he's absolutely elite. And even then, it's hard to do because these guys always have injury issues, like Christian McCaffrey, David Johnson, others as well. Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb, those guys have worked out so far with their extensions, but you never know. That's why it's hard to extend a running back and pay him big time money, like over $14 million a year. And the Cowboys are stuck with Zeke, who really is probably their second best running back on the team. Tony Pollard had a much better year this past season. He was more productive with the touches that he got. And they're now, because their cap situation, because Dak Prescott's going to count a lot against the cap this year, they're going to have to release one of their best playmakers. You look at his stats this year, a little bit of a down year for Amari Cooper, but he was dealing with an injury, a little bit of a hamstring injury. He missed a couple games as well, and he was open a ton where they just didn't target him. Dak didn't get him the ball, but 865 yards and 8 touchdowns this year. Before that though, 4 straight 1,000 yard seasons, 1,000 yards in 2018, 1,200 yards in 2019, 1,100 yards in 2020, and 5 or 7 touchdowns pretty much every single year. He's a really, really good route runner, good hands, and he's pretty quick as well. One of the best receivers in the NFL. This past season wasn't, but before then he was like a top 10, top 12 guy, and he would be an amazing receiver to pair with Terry McLaurin. You guys can see this right here. The minute he's released, Amari Cooper is eligible to sign a new deal elsewhere. He's only 27 years old, which is crazy because if you look how many years he's played, I mean, he's been in the league since 2015. And, he's only 27 years old, so like 7 years in the league, and he's only 27 years old. He's a great route runner with speed. And yeah, he's going to have a major market. Here's the reason why I don't really think Washington should sign him. I think he's a great player, but it would not be, or at least not sign him now, because it would not be a good look if you pay Amari Cooper like 16 mil or whatever, he's going to get paid a lot. So if you pay Amari Cooper a ton of money, when you have Terry McLaurin making like 700,000 or maybe 1 million this year, and it's not a good look if you give a huge deal to Amari Cooper before you extend Terry, and maybe Terry takes it the wrong way. So I would not touch Amari Cooper until we get a deal done with Terry. And if we do extend, or if we do sign Cooper to a deal before Terry, that's going to eat into Terry's money. It's going to be hard to pay him because we have a decent amount of cap space, but it's not like we have a ton of it. And there's ways to manipulate the cap, but it's going to be hard to pay, let's say, Terry 18 mil a year. You already got Curtis Samuel making like 11 million a year. So that's basically $30 million right there. And you're going to pay Amari Cooper over $15 million a year. So paying $45-50 million for your top three receivers, in my opinion, is not the best, idea. I don't know. I don't know if that would be the best idea. I would be okay with it. Amari Cooper would be a huge addition to this wide receiving core. He's one of the better receivers in the NFL. Before this past season, 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons. So I would definitely take him, but try to get a deal done with Terry first. And we did go after him. We did go after him a couple years ago. We made like a $22 million a year that's what we offered, and he took it down. So he's probably not going to come here unless he knows what QB we have. And right now, we don't have a big-time QB yet. And I don't think that's going to change. If it does, though, maybe that entices him to come here for a little bit less money. Maybe he's upset that the Cowboys are releasing him, and he wants to get some payback on them. So maybe he wants to sign into the division, and he'll go for a little bit less. But that's not going to be enough, in my opinion, for us to be able to get him. Like, we can get him, sure. We have the money to do it. But I just don't think it's a good idea with Terry still up in the air, his contract situation, and we're going to have to pay our D-line. And if we do trade for a big-time quarterback next season or even this offseason, you're not really going to be able to do that with Amari Cooper and Terry on big-time deals. Another Amari Cooper stat, he's like the second most double-covered receivers in the NFL and how often they're open. So you see this right here. He's double-teamed 10.4% of the time and open 53% of the time. And Terry's up there as well in terms of double teams. So it's going to be hard for these teams to do that, again, if we did have Amari Cooper and Terry, because they're always double teamed. But if you have two of them on the field at the same time, it's going to be hard to double team them. And if you have Curtis Samuel there too, that would be a nightmare for opposing defenses, but very unlikely it happens. I think he wants some money, so he might go to like Jacksonville, maybe Detroit. They have a lot of money, and there's a couple other teams that don't have as much money, but definitely could use a receiver. Like the Chiefs could use another receiver to pair with Tyreek Hill. There's some other teams as well that could offer him a lot of money. But yeah, so that is going to be it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think about Amari Cooper in DC. Would you want to sign him? Again, my thoughts, no, not until we get a deal done with Terry. And even then, I don't really think it's the best idea to pay him whatever he's going to get, because we have okay amount of cap space, but we're going to have to pay our own players first, and we still have some holes bigger than receiver, and I'm fine either signing a middle of the pack receiver like Cedric Wilson or drafting a guy in like the first, second, third round. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, so close to 7K subscribers, and peace.